Hey friends, today we're going to draw a bee and a tulip.
Yeah, we hope you're going to follow along. You ready to start?
Yes.
First, here's a quick preview of how our drawings turned out, and I hope you're super excited to follow along. Now, we're using markers to draw and color with, but remember, you can use whatever you have, like crayons or even colored pencils. Because we're using markers, we're also drawing on marker paper. This helps protect our table and also keeps our markers lasting long.
Yeah.
I also want to remind you that our two drawings don't look exactly the same, but they both turn out awesome. That's because the most important thing is
To have fun.
yeah, and to
Practice.
practice. Yeah, just remember to have fun and practice. Don't worry about making your drawings look exactly like ours. Let's start by drawing the first petal of our tulip flower. We're going to draw a raindrop. We're going to start in the middle of our paper and we're going to curve around and then we're going to come back up and to a point. Yeah, all right, now let's draw the petal on the side. We're gonna draw a curve coming out from here, and let's do the same thing on the other side. We'll draw a curve coming out to the right. Then we're gonna draw an S curve coming back down to the bottom. So we'll start here at the side, we're gonna curve in, then we'll curve out, and then we'll curve back into the bottom, and we'll do the same thing over here. Curve in, out, and then back into the bottom. Yeah, all right, we're missing our bee. Let's draw it right here inside. We're first gonna draw the mouth. So let's draw a smile right above the first petal. And then let's curve around and turn that into a really happy open mouth. And then we're gonna draw a tongue at the bottom and we're gonna color in the top shape. Now let's draw the first eye. We're gonna draw a circle and the same size circle. And then let's draw highlights or a little circle inside to make the eyes look shiny. We'll color in the big circle but leave that little circle white. That part we sped up, so remember, if you ever need more time or if we go too fast, you can always pause the video. All right, now let's draw the shape of our bee's head. We're gonna draw an upside down U from one side of the eye, or this eye, over to the other. And then we're going to draw this connecting in. We're going to draw the cheek. We're going to draw it connecting into the petal and do the same thing to match on the other side. This is our little bee's head sticking out of the tulip. Okay, now let's draw the little antenna. We're going to draw a curve coming out to the left and a curve coming out to the right. Then let's make these a little thicker. We're going to draw an oval at the end of each antenna. And then we can color that in. Now let's draw our bee's body. We're going to draw a curve right here connecting into the tulip. And then we can also draw the little hands hanging onto our petal. And we could also draw part of our bee's body over here. And let's draw stripes on our bee. So right here we're going to draw a curve. And then we're going to draw another curve. And then let's color in between those two curves for the stripe. Next, we could draw the wings for our little bee. I'm going to draw a sideways or upside down letter U. I like your little body right there connecting in. I'm going to draw another little body and we can color it in a little thicker. You could also connect it. There you go. And we got our first little wing too. You could draw an upside down U. And then we're going to draw another upside down U right next to it. And then let's draw another petal over here to make it look more 3D. Next, let's draw the stem for our tulip. I'm going to start a curve and a curve next to it to make the stem thicker. And then we can connect them at the bottom. And then let's draw a leaf. We'll draw one coming out to the left, and then start at the point, and then curve back down to the bottom. Then let's do the same thing on the right. Curve up to the right, and back down to where we started. And we did it. We finished drawing our little bee hanging out in a tulip. It looks really cool, except we're not completely done.
We still need to color it.
Yeah, this part will speed up, so remember to pause the video, take extra time to color your drawings. Also, we're almost done. We colored our drawings solid, but I think we should make them more 3D.
Yes.
So we're using a darker red on top of our first red layer, and we're gonna add little texture lines. Hopefully this shows up on the camera.
Yeah.
So we got a little texture line here, and then we can add a shadow next to it. So this makes the tulip look more round. I'm gonna add a little texture line in the middle of this petal, and then a texture or a little wrinkle on each side. And then we can add a shadow at the very bottom, or shading at the very bottom of this tulip. You could just leave this part off to keep the lesson a little easier, but I think this is fun to add this. Makes our drawings look more 3D.
Yeah.
And cool. I'm also gonna add a little shadow here on the back petals. Then let's also switch to our dark green, and we can add a shadow underneath the flower on the stem. And then we can also draw a little wrinkle line right through the middle of our leaves. And we can also add a little shadow at the bottom of the leaf. Then we could also switch to our dark blue and add a center to each of the wings. Next, let's do a darker yellow on top. This is almost an orange color. And we'll add a little shadow on the bottom of our bee's head, and also underneath the head where the neck would be, or on the body.
Makes it look more round.
Yeah, it does. And then last, let's use a light gray to add a shadow around the bottom of our flower. And we did it! We finished drawing and coloring our bees and our tulip. And it turned out awesome. I hope our friends will take time to color their drawings. And you can add the extra shading too,
yeah,
to make your drawing look more 3D.
You could also add a background.
Yeah, you could add more tulips and even more bees.
We hope you had a lot of fun drawing a bee and a tulip.
We do. We hope you had a lot of fun, and we'll see you later, our friends.
Goodbye.